I grew up in a house, my dad's a furniture repairman. He still is. My mom was a customer service representative, and they probably cumulatively never made more than, I don't know, $50,000, $70,000 a year. Now, there's more to life than money. I'm also aware, having grown up in that environment, certainly put some constraints on things, right? And I began to notice, as I became around 15 years old, I began to notice patterns. Tony Robbins, he tells us that if you want to create favorable outcomes, I need to be able to A, recognize patterns, and then B, use them. So the pattern that I started to recognize was a lack of planning. Drop in the comments if when you grew up, you noticed planning. A lack of planning around hey, where are we going as a family? A lack of planning around what skills could I learn, to make myself more valuable to the marketplace. Overall, just not thinking about it, right? I noticed that all extracurricular time, particularly in the fourth quarter, was spent around planning for vacations, was spent around, entertainment and imbibing, right? Putting stuff into my mouth, right? That perhaps causes me to get alleviated from my present situation. Now, I was born with the wonderful attribute of ambition. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty ambitious, right? And I knew I wanted different, but I didn't know what that was, and I couldn't get it from the people that I was around, right? And I didn't know what the way was, but I was either going to find the way or make the way. Anybody besides me ever been in a situation, either personally or professionally, where you said, this is unacceptable to me? Okay. This, whatever this is, this income level, this deal level, this personal relationship, it's unacceptable to me. And I don't know what the way is, but I'm going to either find the way or make the way. Well, that was my experience, right? So I did the following, and it's continuing today, okay? For the next 5 years, right, after I graduated from school, I ferociously read books. I would read 3 to 4 books per month. I did that for 3 years in a row. I got access to the best coaches, the best trainers, the best mentors. I spent hundreds of thousands of my dollars so I could learn how to plan and create a life by design. Okay. And now, I no longer worry about market conditions. I don't worry about this thing called momentum and whether or not I have it or not. I don't worry about interest rates, because what I'm aware of is in any marketplace, there's an opportunity and you're only one relationship away from finding it. Our intention here at the Elite Builders is to be that relationship for you. Okay. Jim Rohn says, the thing that I'm greedy for is for my name to be in somebody's testimony. And that's what we're doing this for. That's why we're doing this summit. Okay. Is to really ensure that you can go into this fourth quarter with crazy momentum. And because of all of the access to that training and coaching, I've learned how to plan, right? I've learned how to create my own momentum and maintain my own momentum. And I believe that everybody on this summit, okay, if you hang out with us long enough, with the right plan, with the right skills, right, you can make this fourth quarter the strongest fourth quarter that you've had to date. Drop in the comments if that's going to be you. Okay. Historically, for me, the fourth quarter was always the strongest. Reason being is everybody starts to slow down. Okay. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. So I've spent the last 17 years of my career. I've sold 2,000 homes, 80% of that business being listings sold. I started a coaching company with 100 coaching clients, 12 of which make over $1 million a year. I own part of Keller Williams' office. I sold it back to participate, with EXP, the model and the opportunity. And in 26 months, we've attracted 351 agents. I'm going to talk to you about a few things. The first is the mental map for momentum. If you're taking notes, write that down. The mental map for momentum. How to think about it. Okay. Because the most valuable thing that you can get from a teacher, coach, mentor, just somebody who's a little bit further down the path, is access to the way that they think, because the way that they think allows them to do what they do. Okay. The second is a very specific 4-step plan for maintaining momentum in the fourth quarter. So that way you can go into 2025 with lots of listings, lots of pendings, lots of money. Drop in the comments if you'd like to get lots of money. So at this time of the year, right, what I find super interesting is kind of the thinking. So I don't know if you guys know this. Agents on average work about 9 months a year. Now I know that might sound ridiculous, but that's actually what it is. And the question is why is that? Why do they actually only work 9 months out of the year? Well, what is society telling us to do once we get to like September, October? Anybody notice in Costco they already have Halloween stuff and some Christmas stuff? What is society telling us? Okay. They're telling us the following. Number one is to stop working. Okay. Number two is to eat and drink whatever you want. And number three is to spend all of your money. And what's super interesting is collectively, we just all kind of unconsciously agree that that's a good plan. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to stop working. I'm going to eat and drink whatever I want, and I'm going to spend all my money. Well, what does that lead to in January? It leads to New Year's resolutions. New year, new me. Nope, it's going to be the same you, bro. Same, just a different thing on the calendar. Okay? And what are the New Year's resolutions around? I want to lose weight and I want to make more money and I want to save more and I want to invest. Isn't that in direct conflict with what society is telling you to do, which is to stop working, eat whatever you want, and drink whatever you want, and spend all your money? The answer is emphatically yes. So why is this so important as agents? Well, unbeknownst to most agents, okay, this is a 1,000% strictly commission-based compensation plan. Okay? So in other words, if you don't do a deal, it's not like you get minimum wage for that month. One of the first jobs I had, which I'm dating myself, was Circuit City. It was an awesome job, awesome sales job. And you got paid commissions for what you sold, got paid commissions if you sold the extra warranty. But if you didn't reach your kind of minimum, they would pay you minimum wage. That's not how it works in real estate. So utilizing this plan to stop working, eat and drink whatever you want, spend all your money, drop in the comments what that's going to lead to. So again, ask yourself a question. Who gave me that plan and how did they sell me on the fact that that makes sense? Okay. Now, what this ends up doing is, yeah, stressed. I see this here, right? No money, depression, misery. Yeah. Eating cat food. Yeah, hopefully you don't do that. So it also leads to a massive slowdown in momentum. Massive. Just like downshifting. If you've ever been in a kind of automobile and it's a stick shift and suddenly it gets downshifted by accident, like you go from like fifth gear to like third, what ends up happening? It's like a jolt. And that's what happens when you do this. When you stop working, eat and drink whatever you want, spend all your money, you downshift into like second gear from fifth. And it causes all of your momentum to disappear. Okay. And this business is all about momentum. Selling real estate is all about momentum. Attraction is all about momentum. And most agents, they actually stop working after Halloween. And instead of planning for what they're going to do in the fourth quarter, what do they instead plan for? Their time off. Vacations. Once they get back to the office January 5th, they start scratching their head like, hey, maybe I need to do some planning. I need to do like a business plan or something. Takes them 2 or 3 weeks to do that. And guess what? It's February. Let me ask you guys a question. Are you behind if you do that? The answer is emphatically yes. You're trying to build momentum in February, which means you probably won't end up getting some till March, April, right? And then summer comes along and the kids and the camps and the this and the that. And then, oh, before you know it, we're back into the holidays. And that's what I watch my parents do, okay? January is like, oh, the holidays, I got to shake off all the cobwebs. March becomes what? Spring break. Then summer. The kids are out. Then we're in September, October, and then people stop working. This is how agents end up with 8 to 9 months of work in a calendar year. This is the underlying issue. Okay. Remember, I shared with you that I need to give you access to the way, we're thinking about this, and then we can give you the actual strategy and the plan. So I think, so I feel, so I feel, so I do, so I do, so I have. Guys, that's human psychology, okay? So I think, if I think that the end of the year is for the following: spend all my money, stop working, and put whatever I want, eat whatever I want, drink whatever I want, it's going to make me feel a certain way. It's going to make me not do activities, and I'll end up with not that much. New Year's resolutions. Do you see how this works? If you think, feel, and do what the vast majority of people do, there's a reason why 65% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. They're following that plan. Okay. And again, they're not bad people. We love them. They have value in the eyes of God, like all of that. We're talking strictly from an economic perspective. Now let's have a conversation about the actual plan itself. So what can I do to ensure that I have momentum and I maintain momentum? Okay. And I can go into 2025 just waving at everybody like this. Thin and rich. Lots of listings, lots of pendings, lots of closings. Okay. Not behind the 8 ball, not like, oh, I got to get, and you guys have to get to a place where you hate saying that out loud. Hate is a strong word, but it's very powerful and it can move you. You need to get to a place where you hate saying out loud, well, I gotta get to the plan. I gotta get around to that. I want you to viscerally feel like throwing up when you say that out loud. Here's the plan. Make sure that you have a powerful fourth quarter, that you go in with crazy momentum into 2025. First step of the plan, okay. Take out a calendar and actually decide today how many days a week you're going to work, how many days you're going to work between now and the end of the year. Make that decision. Don't leave it up to chance. Drop in the chat what would happen if you left it up to chance. Go ahead. What will happen if you leave it up to chance? If how many days you're going to work between now and the end of the year. What do you think will happen if you just leave it up to chance instead of making a decision about how many days you're going to work between now and the end of the year? Nothing, nada. You want to be effective, not much. Yeah, here's what happens, okay? How many opportunities are people going to present you with of things to do? How many parties to attend and all that other stuff? A tremendous amount. And if I don't make that decision now and I leave it up to chance, remember, the flesh is weak. I get to choose to go to a party or stay on track. I get to choose to hang out with this person or stay in alignment. The suffix "ide" means to kill: homicide, suicide, pesticide, genocide. Kill off the option of I'm going to leave it to chance. Here's exactly how many days I'm going to work between now and the end of the year, including a Saturday if you're going to work a Saturday. How many days is it? What I would also do between now and the end of the year is plan out what events you're going to attend as it pertains to your business, because events create momentum. Proper planning prevents poor performance. I like that. And remember, I want to go into 2025 with lots of momentum. Okay. Number 2, set goals around what you want to accomplish between now and the end of the year. I was on a one-on-one call with a one-on-one coaching client. I'm like, hey, I'm telling him this. I'm like, look, dude, you need to set goals between now and the end of the year. He's like, I haven't done that yet. That's a problem. Because where focus goes, energy flows. So if my focus is on hanging out, taking time off, partying, where does my energy go? That's where it goes to. What happens to momentum? Downshifting. Guys, this game is 80% psychology and 20% mechanics. So what are the goals that I want to accomplish between now and the end of the year? Number of units. How many properties do I want to sell? How many listing agreements do I want to get authorized between now and the end of the year? How many buyer brokerage agreements do I want to get authorized between now and the end of the year? Because now you have to do that. Yay. Should be listing buyers just like we list sellers. If you're with us at EXP, how many agents do you want to attract to the company? How much income do I want to earn between now and the end of the year? Like, set defined goals and objectives. We hear from Zig Ziglar, the great and powerful Zig Ziglar, he would say, do you want to be a wandering generality or a meaningful specific? Most people, you ask what they want, they're like, I want to be happy. I'm like, what does that mean, bro? What do you want? It's like, oh, I want to make more money. How much? Be a meaningful, specific. What exactly am I trying to accomplish between now and the end of the year? Again, how many contacts do I make? How many listing appointments do I want to go on? How many listing agreements do I want to get authorized? How many buyer brokerage agreements do I want to get authorized? How many agents do I want to attract to the company? How much money do I want to make between now and the end of the year? Next thing that I want to focus on is decide one project that you are going to work on between now and the end of the year. Projects would be on your business, not in your business. So projects, yep, time management, good. So projects are stuff that you find yourself saying, I got to get around to that. I got to get around to like putting all of the names out of my phone into my CRM. I got to get around to like finally creating a checklist for my listing coordinator to follow. I got to get around to finally stop sucking my thumb like this. Look at me closely. And start posting on media. I got to get around to finally figuring out what dialer I'm going to use to make outbound calls. I finally got to get around to actually having and using a CRM. Because remember, if you don't have a system, you are the system, and memory is not a system. So what's one project that between now and the end of the year, a little bit more than 3 months, like 3 months and 2 weeks, am I just going to, no holds barred, no excuses, it will be done and dialed in the next 3 months, and it's no longer going to be a thing that I talk about anymore. The fourth thing that I would suggest to you is to choose one skill between now and the end of the year that you are going to dial in, because this is all about stacking skills. Okay. What I've done in my career, none of it has been unique. I need you to understand. Selling real estate in high volume is not unique. Listing a lot of properties in high volume is not unique, right? Using media is not unique. Building an organization is not unique. Investing money is not unique. What is unique is execution. And what I've been doing as time progresses is just continually stacking skills. So I did 100 deals one year, 75 were expired listings. Great. I know that skill set. I can add value to people. Then the marketplace got good, expireds went down, and I learned probate. It became 50 to 60% of our business, made myself more valuable. Then I took the time to figure out media, made myself more valuable. Then I owned part of a Keller Williams office, and I sold it back and participated in this model and opportunity and built to 351 agents in 25, 26 months, made myself more valuable. I'm getting ready to write a book. I'm making myself constantly stacking skills and making myself more valuable. You don't get more because you want more. You get more because you become more. Write that down. You don't get more because you want more. You get more because you become more. Ask yourself a question. Who am I in the process of becoming? What's the one skill? Is it, you know what? I'm really shaky on asking straightforward questions, and it's uncomfortable for me in the prequel. I'm going to dial in that skill for the next 90 days where it is no longer going to be an issue for me. I will feel completely comfortable, completely confident in having that conversation. Maybe for you, it's a listing presentation. You're still going in and winging it. You're still going in and being like, oh my God, you have a puppy, I have a puppy. Yay, we should be friends. You're not following like a track that leads to a specific destination. Well, you got to get sick and tired of that being a thing. Okay? I don't ever want to say that out loud again. I'm making a commitment between now and the end of the year, that skill will be dialed in. Maybe it's the skill of handling objections. A lot of people get tripped up on specific objections. We're going to think about it. You know how many people lose opportunities because they don't have that dialed in? I would list 3 properties a month out of the 10, 12, 15 that we would list when somebody said I wanted to think about it because I had a response for it. Maybe take the next 90 days, just dial that in so it's no longer an issue ever again. The way I think about skills is like, I never want to have to look at my wife, Carla, and be like, hey, babe, we can't send the kids to private school because they told me my commission was too high and I didn't know what to say and I walked out. Or, hey, we can't take that trip that you want to take because I didn't learn the skills that are required in order for me to do media in high volume. So we're just going to have to make do. So number 1, to recap. Take out a calendar, map out how many days you're going to work between now and the end of the year. Do not leave this up to chance. If you leave it up to chance, there's too many distractions. The flesh is weak. You're going to end up getting pulled off and be doing different stuff. And you have to be willing that when you do this, people are going to be like, come on, bro. Like, no, no, no. You know what I tell those people? Like, they're like, I never see you out. I'm like, I never see you at the bank. So get clear on that. You're going to have to say no to some folks. It's fine. You're making a commitment to your business. You're making a commitment to your family that I'm going to have momentum. I will not let it go, and I will create my own momentum moving into 2025. I'm going to finish the calendar year strong. Plus, we're going to go into 2025 with lots of listings, lots of pendings, lots of transactions, lots of income, lots of opportunities, lots of leads. Okay, I don't want one of anything. One is none and two is one. I want multiples of anything. I'm not interested in addition and subtraction. I'm interested in multiplication. Okay. Number 2, set goals around what you want to accomplish now in the end of the year. Listings, pendings, deals, right? How many listing agreements signed? How many buyer brokers agreements signed? How many agents you want to attract to the company? How many events you're going to do? Like, be very, very specific. Do not be a wandering generality. Be a meaningful specific. Okay. Number 3, decide that one project. I'm finally going to get this dialed in, whether it's the CRM. I'm finally going to shoot that podcast. I've been sucking my thumb like this. I'm finally going to do it. And I'll leave you guys with this. All right. People will give you static. They will call you crazy, and they will say you're obsessed until it works. Okay. People saw me chanting scripts. They thought I was nuts. Me saying no to people. Nope. Not going to do that. I got these goals and objectives that I'm doing. Thought I was crazy. And without a vision, the people will perish. If I'm not clear on where I'm going, any path will do, guys. If you've ever seen the movie Cheshire Cat, Alice in Wonderland. In Alice in Wonderland, Alice is trying to figure out where she wants to go. And she comes up to the Cheshire Cat and he asks her a question. He says, where do you want to go? She's like, doesn't really matter. He's like, then any path will do. Get clear on where you want to go because it determines the path to take. And I wrote this quote down from the 10X Rule. It's a Grant Cardone book. It's an awesome book. Until you become completely obsessed with your mission, no one will take you seriously. Until the world understands that you're not going away, that you are 100% committed and have complete and utter conviction and will persist in pursuing your project, you will not get the attention you need and the support that you want. You can't be lukewarm in this game, bro. I got to be 100% dialed in. He also says from the 10X Rule, okay, I suggest that you become obsessed about the things you want. Otherwise, you are going to spend a lifetime being obsessed with making excuses of why you didn't get what you wanted. I think obsession is a gift. Completely obsessed. I was obsessed for 5 years to get to 100 transactions a year. Okay, and you guys can do likewise. So now you have a very clear, very concise plan. Drop in the comments if you feel you have a clear, concise plan to go into 2025 and to finish 2024 with massive momentum. Drop in the chat.